Morning. So, brought myself down to the local Starbucks. I was going to go down for a walk on the beach today, but it's absolutely throwing it down outside. So, what I wanted to talk about on this little video, I'm being a bit quieter as well because I don't want to disturb everyone in the bloody coffee shop. So hopefully you can hear me. But when people around you don't necessarily understand why you're focusing a lot of attention, a lot of your time on social media and putting yourself out there on social media for yourself and for your business. And when people kind of think it's a little bit of a waste of time when you're spending hours sometimes a week posting to social media, to LinkedIn, to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those type of things. Your mum don't get it, your spouse, your partner don't get it. They just think you sat there wasting time posting videos or posting content. And even a lot of small business owners that I speak to on a daily basis all still seem to hate social media, seem to have such a big issue with actually putting themselves out there. It's something I've had quite a lot in terms of over the last 3 or 4 years that I've been really active on social media and putting myself out there. People don't necessarily get it, and I do understand why from their point of view. To be fair, it's cat memes or people dancing on social media. I think a lot of people obviously have that sort of idea that that's what social media is, and that it's not necessarily such a good tool for actually building your business up and marketing yourself, marketing your business. And it can be a little bit difficult when everyone around you kind of has social media as that sort of what they think social media is, when in reality social media is such a powerful tool and such a powerful platform for actually marketing yourself, marketing your business, getting yourself out there in front of a wider audience of potential clients who you can sell your services or your products to. And it can be difficult, when you've got people around you who don't necessarily understand it, and they kind of say they kind of make it out like you're wasting your time or what's the point. And sometimes even when you're doing it yourself and you're not necessarily you're putting loads of effort in, you're posting every day, you're making videos, you're posting content out there, and maybe the effort that you're putting in isn't actually turning into any results. And even in your own mind, you're kind of thinking, what's the point? Are they right in thinking that it's a waste of time? The people at the very top of social media, the people who've got millions of followers across all of the social media platforms, they're one in a tiny proportion of people on social media. They're probably less than 1% of all the people on social media who are in that position. And sometimes when you're aspiring to obviously get to bigger numbers across social media, like I am trying to aim to obviously hit 100,000 followers across all my channels this year, and you're kind of comparing yourself to that, it is easy to get caught up in the negativity of everybody around you who also thinks it's a waste of time, and keeping your head in check enough to think, just got to keep plodding forward, we've got to keep pushing on regardless of how hard it feels, regardless of what everybody else thinks. Because ultimately, in my opinion, I think social media is probably the best way to market your business, to market yourself, to obviously get your personal brand out there, to market your business, to grow an audience of potential clients and customers, and get in front of as many people as possible. But I think it does take a lot of heartache, a lot of hard work, a lot of pushing through the negativity, both in your own mind and what everybody else is telling you around you as well, and keep pushing on regardless. When you sit there, right, this happened to me before, where my mum said to me, what's the point in what you're doing? When I've put a daft video up on TikTok or whatever, and she doesn't actually understand, why I'm doing it. It's not just for the sake of it. It's not just for the fun of it. It's for a purpose. I'm only doing social media because I've got a business to grow. I want to market my business and get in front of as many people as possible, and pushing through and keeping doing that. So yeah, I do kind of get it from their point of view. It's something that I've got to kind of battle in my own head as well, and keep pushing through and getting out of my head when my head's telling me what's the point. When you put a post out and you get one view YouTube is horrible for this. So obviously my start of the journey on YouTube now, where probably the most views I've got on one video is 40 odd views on one of the long form videos like this one. Most of the views that I'm getting are sort of 1, 2, 3 at the most. And every time I look at those analytics and see those numbers, that's kind of twigging in my head as if to say, what is the point? Why are you keeping on doing a video every single day when you get one person who's viewed it? And to be honest, the one person who's viewed it is typically me, because I'm trying to sort the algorithm out and get it to think, oh, someone's watched your video. So yeah, it's hard work, but I reckon the people who've made it to the top of social media, you know, your James Smiths, your Daniel Priestley's, your Alex Hormozzi's, all these people who've literally got millions and millions of people following them, I'm sure they've probably gone through this as well, where they've had people around them saying, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time on there? Why don't you pick the phone up and ring people? Or why don't you do this, that or the other? Anything but social media. I'm sure they've probably gone through exactly the same thing as this. And I'm sure, obviously I don't know these people personally, but I can bet you bottom dollar that those people have had those people around them who don't get it, and they've pushed on regardless, because they know the opportunity that social media obviously brings to you and to your business. For me, obviously the social media side of thing is mainly for promoting myself and promoting the business. But what I've obviously seen from other people on social media, even people who don't necessarily have millions of followers, it can open up massive opportunities in other areas as well. You know, with things like brand deals, or even on like YouTube, if you manage to get your channel monetized, obviously you can start earning money from AdSense and that kind of stuff. So the opportunities from it, I can see, and I just need to keep telling myself, obviously, that it's worth it. Got to keep pushing through, got to keep going regardless of what everyone around you's saying. And eventually, once you crack that sort of, I think there's a tipping point. I reckon from everything that I've kind of learned from social media and people I've spoke to, other creators, there gets a tipping point in terms of your followers where it seems to go up exponentially from a certain point. You can see it on like YouTube and stuff when people first start on YouTube, they'll post loads of videos, get no views, and then at one point on the graph, it'll just sort of shoot up into the stratosphere. From that, obviously, you get more followers, and the same, I think, will happen across any social media, but it's just pushing through and just cracking on regardless. So that's what I'm planning on doing this year in 2026. Obviously, I know I keep banging on about it, but it is what I'm pretty much obsessed with at the moment, is getting my followers and my audience up to 100,000 people across all my channels in 2026. So I'm just pushing on regardless, and yeah, I'm confident it's going to work, and I just need to keep telling myself that. Just keep getting through the crap, and eventually it'll all pay off and be worth it in the end. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, do me a favour and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video. Ta-da!